For more on the withdrawal from the ICC, I'm joined now from New York by Michael Clyne. He's an analyst focusing on issues in Africa. Gambia's decision considered a big blow to the court in the sense that the chief prosecutor actually comes from Gambia. Talk to us about the significance of this move.
Right, Mike. Gambia is actually the third of the latest countries to withdraw or signal they're withdrawing from the International Criminal Court in Africa, a continent that has the most conflicts in the world and arguably the least capable and impartial judicial space. That's an intersection that the court was intended to address in the first place. The larger or longer term problem is this in fact signals an exodus in this troubled region, because the court can only operate within its member states. So it shrinks not only its stature, but also its jurisdiction.
So are we going to see an exodus? Because Kenya and Namibia also talking about taking similar steps.
As well as Uganda. And Kenya, Uganda, and Burundi and Gambia are countries that have their own legal shortcomings and allegations of high-level political crimes that the court was supposed to address. The real problem is South Africa, which has more developed democratic institutions signaling they're going to withdraw, possibly providing cover for African neighbors as they make a play to be a leader in the region. The Gambian government statement said that the court unfairly targeted African leaders. I thought that was interesting. The court is supposed to target leaders. We would think it were unfair if it were only targeting low-level officials. It's not supposed to primarily target Africans, and that's a problem that has been rumbling on the continent and that the court had foreseen for some time.
Yeah, you talked about those rumblings, and you heard in the lead-in to you these claims that the ICC should stand for the International Caucasian Court. As it stands now, 6 cases, some ongoing, others just being launched, involving people from African states. Is there merit to their claims?
Well, it's not the only place to come under international jurisdiction. People remember Slobodan Milosevic standing trial and similarly joint international or UN mandated tribunals in Cambodia, East Timor, currently in Lebanon as well. The problem is that the court is supposed to go after spaces that don't have the judicial authority or impartiality to prosecute leaders, and that exists mostly within Africa. Should it make forays and measures in other regions of the world? Well, yes, I think it should, and it seems to be making those steps with some high-level visits to the Middle East, an investigation undergoing in Georgia following the Georgian-Russian war, and even a warning to the new Philippine president about extrajudicial killings there.
Michael, Gambia's information minister says at least 30 Western countries committed war crimes since the creation of the ICC in 2002. He particularly singled out former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair for criticism for his action with regards to the Iraq War. He says nothing's happened to these leaders and kind of indicating that there's a double standard. What would you say to that?
Well, the double standard, I think, really comes from the court's problem trying to go after leaders in fragile states that don't have the appropriate judicial capacity. Not so much a double standard so much, but an edge in that while those leaders can escape jurisdiction in their home countries, they also have the ability to technically pull their countries out of the court. When it comes to questions about leaders such as Tony Blair or other Western leaders, their home countries, harbor sufficient judicial institutions to go after high-level figures, and they have in the past.
Michael Clyne joining us from New York. Thanks so much for your observations.